and we've had in the Premier League. In fact, after the last few weeks, things have changed, I think, rather dramatically. Didi, did Chelsea wrap it up, the Premier League title, when they beat Arsenal so comprehensively on Saturday? When you take that, with Arsenal were their nearest challengers, and of course Liverpool lost away to Hull. Is that it?
Well, on paper it may look like it, but we've seen it, I think, once or twice in the past that bigger advantages have been wasted, and teams have been caught. What impresses me about the Chelsea team is that not only the cushion they've got at the top of the table, but the way they do play, because they're very functional. They remind me a little bit of that great AC Milan team in the 90s. And also the Chelsea team under Mourinho, because the defence was always their trademark, was always their biggest strength. It's the same now. They've got 2-3 players going forward who can make the difference. But if you look at the overall team, I don't think it's a world-beaten side. So if one or two get injured, if they stay free from injuries, it's highly likely they're going to win the league. But as I said, sometimes it only takes one defeat. They're on a fantastic run. If they lose one, they might be following another one. So I would be careful, and I wouldn't give it to them right now.
Yeah, John, that point Didi made about injuries, they don't really have cover for Costa. They don't have another centre forward, a go-to guy, and Hazard. They wouldn't have someone to replace him, and certainly not Kante in midfield, because he's like as good as 2 or 3 players.
Yeah.
First of all, do you think it's over, John, or not?
Well, I wouldn't back against them, Eamon, because they've gone very well, and as Didi said, are very well organised defensively. They don't look like they're going to be beaten very easily, and also the teams around them are not doing it. Eamon, like if there was one team making the challenge, if Liverpool were winning the games, or Manchester City were up there, for example, or Arsenal, who've blown it really in the last couple of weeks, you'd say, well, they're on form, they could catch them. But none of them are on form.
No.
So they're making it easy for Chelsea in many ways, because the nearer it gets to the end of the season, the less pressure there will be on Chelsea, and it's pressure that really messes teams up when they come in the last 5 or 6 or 7 matches. And I can't see any of those teams chasing Chelsea, putting them under pressure.
Now, the last couple of times we watched Chelsea, John, we were talking on the phone as we do during games, and you weren't that impressed as you had been in terms of their discipline, their making things tight, and you seem to see something, if you like, a drop in the intensity.
At Liverpool, Eamon, definitely. I was disappointed with them at Liverpool.
Yeah.
Because Liverpool, as we saw in the previous couple of weeks, when they played against Wolves, who sat back, and Southampton, who sat back, actually killed them.
Yeah.
But Chelsea, I thought they were very lethargic in their opening, certainly opening half hour.
Yeah.
Didn't really pick her up in a way that they're giving the ball away, for example. I know they're playing away from home, and they're going to drop deep, and they're going to play Liverpool, and you see out the first 50 minutes. But there's a way of doing it as well, which is to get on the ball, and particularly against Liverpool, because Liverpool are at their best when they're coming at you, and they're at their worst when you get at them, as we've seen in recent weeks, and against Chelsea when Chelsea got at them. So I was disappointed at them doing that. It was as if, well, we're playing for the point here at Liverpool. The point would be a great result, which it is at this particular stage, but I think they could have won the match or gone about it in a different way. So I was disappointed in the way they played, but overall then they picked it up again in the last match against Arsenal.
Yeah, interestingly, Didi, in that match, he made a tactical change, Conte. He left Pedro out and he put Willian in instead. I wasn't quite sure about the idea there, but you were at that game, weren't you, in Anfield?
Yes. And I spoke to a couple of people. They didn't play well. I spoke to a couple of people from their camp. One of them, Michael Eminalo, who's the man in between the manager and I think the owner, and he said the reason Willian played because he wanted to have a bit more security going backwards, because he works a little bit harder going backwards, and Pedro is probably more the flair player, the one who makes things happen and is maybe not so reliable in defence. And going forward, they didn't play well, no. But what impresses me about them is the top teams, they control games even when they haven't got the ball. And they let Liverpool play where they wanted to let them play, and they were happy letting them play because they knew if we are set up as we are with a 3 or the 5 at the back and the 2 holding midfielders, they won't break us down. And for long parts, they didn't break him down. They scored a free kick. But then going forward, I think they could have played 1 or 2 counter-attacks. They could have played it out a little bit better. But what impressed me was just that central midfield with Kante was outstanding. Matic played really well. David Luiz found a position now in between the 2 centre-backs where he's got more or less a free role. He's a fantastic passer of the ball. Just a very mature performance. And the only problem I could see in recent weeks, maybe Liverpool was the start of it, but now the game has come where sometimes they may think a draw is not a bad result. And once you do that, I think you leave yourself open for maybe conceding one and losing games. So we will find out that they, at the moment, they look very mature. But as we know, once it goes into the last 10, 12 games, every game becomes a final, and then we really found out about them. But at the moment, they don't show many flaws.
Okay.